Hey everybody, it's Stacy with Pageantry Now. Welcome to a very special Thursday edition of Pageantry Now. We've got a very special person that's coming on, Miss Washington USA 2020, and she's going to talk about her experience winning Miss Washington and then her role and going forward to Miss USA and what her goals are. But before we do that, let's talk a little bit about Pageantry Now and what we're all about. We really want to give people an opportunity to be able to share the amazing things title holders do using a crown and a sash to change their world. And we hear so much negativity about pageantry, and I hear it so many times over and over again. Oh, you do pageants? And we really don't want that connotation. We want to be able to show what's going on and not hear, the things that went bad at a pageant the night before, what you see on reality TV, which is really not the way it is. So before we get started and start with the interview, make sure if you haven't already that you like our page, follow us on Instagram, and subscribe to us on YouTube at Pageantry Now. And because all three formats have different material and different interviews, and you never know what's going to be on all of them or what's just going to be on one of them. So make sure you follow everything so that you can stay up to date. And with that being said, let's get the show started. And here we go. Hi, how are you?
I'm great. Good to see you again.
I know, it's been like forever or 6 weeks.
Right, I know.
It seems like forever ago, doesn't it? And then it doesn't.
Yeah, at the same time, it feels like a lifetime, but then also 2 seconds ago.
So introduce yourself so everybody knows who you are.
Hi, I'm Imani Blackmon, and I'm Miss Washington USA 2020.
Wood, 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 wood. Yay! And Imani and I met at National American Miss. We were judging together along with what seems to be now the entire class of 2020 or the outgoing 2019. So let's first of all talk about when you got crowned and why you wanted to become Miss Washington USA.
Yeah, so I started pageants at just 5 years old. I started with National American Miss. And I know, so I've been doing this for 20 years now. In 2020, it's been 20 years. And since I was 7, I told my mom, I'm going to have that Miss USA crown. So my whole entire pageant journey has been for this moment right here.
That moment.
Yeah, this very moment to walk on the Miss USA stage and hopefully be Miss USA. So hearing my name called as Miss Washington USA was such a surreal moment for me because it's been such a long journey. And throughout my journey, I've held other titles, and I used to be Washington Teen USA, but this title has been so surreal and what I've been waiting for my entire life, basically.
That's so cool though, because that means you've got the same directors again. Does that help you, or does that make it an easier transition for you, do you think?
I think it makes it so much easier because we already have that bond, and Paddles Northwest is truly like one big family. As soon as someone else is brought into the family, we just relate so well to each other, and I think our bond is very special. So having Maureen and David, my directors, 2 times is truly a blessing because we know how we both operate and how each of us work, and they know my work ethic, I know their work ethic, and so it just works out really well.
I love the fact that they've got such a strong group of women. Like you are all. I mean, I haven't met the New Oregon, but hopefully I will. I mean, hopefully, I'm
Yeah,
sure
hopefully
if
you.
they're watching, I
Yeah,
know I know
great.
that Morgan said she was going to talk about me to them. So,
Mhm.
um, hopefully we'll get to. But I know with Natalie outgoing that she's so sweet and talented, and
Yeah, she's the best.
I mean, but like it's nice because it's not just the sisterhood, between you and your teen. You actually, there's 8 of you all together, which makes for
Yeah.
mighty strong forces when you guys hit USA's.
Right, we're like Avengers.
Awesome.
We're-
Team
yes,
go.
super.
And Maureen has been so sweet with me and being honest and, trying to coordinate everything. And I know that everything that she's doing for pageantry has been so special because she really does have those those bigger ideas of recognition for why we do this crazy thing, pageants. I,
Yes.
I, I say it all the time. It's crazy. This is a crazy hobby. It really is.
Yeah,
So
I would say pageants are not for everyone.
no,
They're not.
no. From somebody that has a weak heart, not for the weak of heart, I can tell
Right. Oh.
you. I mean, I love it. I'm addicted to it. I can't because I started in Teen USA a long time ago. Not more than 20 years. So the second year of Teen USA. So oh my gosh, that's a long time. But
Wisdom.
okay, so let's talk about. I mean, I knew that you had competed at NAM, but let's talk about that journey. What has that been like seeing pageantry change, because it's changed pretty significantly in the 20 years you've been competing, and the role of Miss Washington USA in comparison to your roles over the years of being a title holder?
Yes, I think the MUO organization is such a prestigious company and organization. So as soon as you see this sash and you see USA at the bottom, you put two and two together. You know that this person is going to Miss USA. And then when you tell people that it's connected with Miss Universe, and everyone's like, oh my gosh. So the prestige level in itself is something that is beyond a lot of pageant systems. So people can really relate to Miss USA. When I grew up doing NAM, I was started at 5 and I stopped doing NAM at 15. So I was just a teenager. So my responsibilities were there, but not as much as they are now being a MUO title holder. Our responsibilities are way more enhanced being Miss Washington USA. So it's definitely been a journey and an experience because I have a lot more responsibility, even from being a teen to now. And I used to follow my miss around like she was like my big sister, and you're looking
She
for
is.
yeah, exactly. She is. You're looking for advice, and then now I'm that person for Marianne. So the journey definitely has been a lot different than my years doing National American Miss and now being Miss Washington USA.
So when you competed for Washington, Teen USA swimsuit was still part of the competition?
Yes, it was. Yeah, I was one of the few last batch of girls to do swimsuit.
So that's got to be crazy too, because making that step from NAM, where there isn't swimsuit and it's really interview based for the most part, which I think really prepares you to be a USA title holder, because the amount of interviewing that you have to do is so significant. But was that a big step, being comfortable being on stage in a swimsuit in comparison to the way it was with NAM?
Yeah, NAM was we'd have personal introduction, formal wear. We had optional competition, so there was a lot of speaking, and they had a talent portion. So we definitely didn't do anything that was about your physical well-being. So as a teenager, of course, and still now, a lot of girls and women deal with body image issues and insecurities. So of course, at that age, I was 17 at the time. I look at my body, I'm like, oh, I don't know if I'm ready for that. But at the same time, I grew up dancing, so I was used to being like in a little costume with like little booty shorts on. So it wasn't that foreign for me because of my dance career growing up, but it was definitely something different because you're 17 years old, you may go to the beach in your swimsuit, but you're not wearing Chinese laundry 6-inch heels with a
And a
two-piece
bikini.
on.
Okay, I got a question for you, which is, because we haven't spoken since NAM, which is before Miss Universe. So there's two questions. Number one, what did you think of the new addition to the capes with swimsuit at Miss Universe? And finish and answer that, and then I'll ask you the second
Okay.
one.
Yes, I love it. I think that it adds fierceness. I think it embodies what the swimsuit portion should be about in today's time and for today's woman. Swimsuit isn't about who is the thinnest, who has the smallest size. It's about being strong and bold and being your personal best and your at your healthiest state. And I like, and with the capes added, it's like you're a superhero, you're a superwoman, and I like that they can feel so fierce using it, and you can
Dude, I
use it in
loved
all
it.
different directions. And watching Chesley with her like 6-pack, 8-pack,
Oh my gosh.
her she looked like Wonder Woman and Captain Marvel all together. So
I
I really
was, yeah. I was seated right on the edge of the stage for preliminaries. She walked out and my jaw dropped
Mhm.
because I just I was like, oh my gosh, and that was. I mean, I got to see everybody up close and personal. It was crazy for me, and Chesley just, and I know she people criticized her afterwards. I was like, why? That is a body to die for. There are
Oh my
women
God,
that work so
I
hard to look
still
like
look for
that.
that. I
Oh
would
my God.
her legs are just cut up. That is healthy, and you can tell she spent time. And to me, that shows work ethic too. Like those
Right.
abs didn't just come out of nowhere. She worked hard for that body. And as Miss USA and Miss Universe or a state title holder, your whole job is you need to be working hard throughout that whole year. So her body literally embodied what hard work means.
Yeah. No, it truly does. And so the realization happened to me about 10 minutes after Zosie was crowned. We have black girl magic totally going on between Miss Teen USA, Miss USA. And I was so proud that I started crying like a baby because
Oh yeah.
I was so proud. I was like, "Oh my gosh, why has it taken this long to happen?" But I know for all of my African American friends and I mean, my brown color, black color, I mean, we're all brown. It's just different shades of brown. But you know, how did that feel for you when you had that realization?
Yeah, I remember watching it. I had like a watching party with my friends, and at the time when she won, I didn't necessarily realize that because she just won fair and square. She's so elegant, poised, well spoken. She's like literally perfection. And then after it sunk in, just like with you, I was like, oh my goodness, they're all black girls now, like all of them.
Right.
So that for me was something that was so amazing to see. My first time watching Miss USA was when Deshauna Barber won, and I watched it live with my mom
Oh,
in Vegas. And I
I
remember
love
crying.
Dee.
Yeah, I remember crying watching her win because I was like, wow, she looks like me. Um, and it's just really surreal to watch the current Miss Universe represent the whole entire world. And she's absolutely stunning. It shows that society's beauty standards are changing. And not only was it awesome to see her win, but also with her hair being the way it is, really, I think was something that was a statement for the world to see and for little black girls to see. And she's just so confident in her own skin and who she is. And I love that she just wore her hair in a buzz cut. Like, you never, when have you ever seen a pageant girl have a buzz cut?
But it was awesome. Oh my gosh. And I I was my first Miss USA that I covered was Deshauna being crowned. Um, so it had a really deep feeling for me. I loved it. I got to know her throughout her reign, so I was backstage before she gave up her title, and in her dressing room, and she's telling me, I said, I heard rumors that you couldn't get through your speech. Do you want to talk about it? She's like, it's just going to be a surprise. She goes, but you're going to cry, and I just want you to know because I know kind of the history. And as soon as I heard her voice in the playback, I knew it was going to be about her mom. And then when she came out with her natural hair, I was a crying wreck. I'm sitting there, my husband is like, "What is your problem?" I'm like, it's okay, don't worry about it. And then for her to crown Kyra with, her natural hair too, I was like, thank you. Why don't we have more of this? And then seeing Zosie, and now Deshauna's hair looks just like Zosie's. I was like, that's. I remember the '70s growing up, and you know, natural hair being the thing, and I thought, why did that stop? Like in your
Right.
lifetime,
I
you haven't
know.
really
And
seen it that way, have you?
no, not at all. And the current Miss Massachusetts that just won, she has like a short haircut as well with her natural hair. And that alone just shows you that the beauty standard is changing and people can now look at hair texture that is African American textured and be like, this is just as beautiful as any other hair texture. And I think there's so many spectrums of a black woman. Like, I choose to wear extensions, and that doesn't make me any less black than the next girl over. We just all choose to um, we just all choose to show our beauty or enhance our beauty in different ways. So I think what's so cool about the pageant system now is that we can all be beautiful and in our own skin and how we choose to present ourselves on stage.
Be yourself. We got a thumbs up. I don't know. Thank you, whoever gave it. If you guys have questions, if you're watching, please ask them. We'll be more than happy to ask them as long as they are age appropriate, because we do have teens that watch, so we want to make sure that it's good, positive stuff. Anyways, so let's talk about what, other than the fact that you knew at 7 you wanted to be Miss USA, what has been the driving force in your intent for doing this? What's your platform? What do you want to do? How do you want to change your world?
Yes, something that I recently kind of started was my own hashtag, Be Your Reason. And I say that because I think a lot of times people look for someone else to be the reason that they want to be successful, to give them that extra push, to be the reason they get up in the morning. But I want to be my own reason to be successful. So becoming Miss USA is a dream that I've had since I was, like I said, 7 years old. So every morning I have to wake up and be that driving force for myself because I'm the only person that's going to be able to make that happen. So definitely being my own reason is really important to me. But as far as my platform is representation and inclusivity, and that covers pretty much everything, whether race, ability, disability, sexual orientation, just having inclusivity throughout our nation, throughout our media, and representation everywhere in all facets of life. But my platform is connected with the Miss Amazing organization. I'm an ambassador for the Miss Amazing organization, which is a pageant for girls and women with disabilities. So I started working with them just last year, and it honestly has changed my whole look on people with disabilities because I never knew what it was like to have a disability. So to be able to dive into a world that I wasn't as familiar with and to be embraced by all of those girls and women was amazing. I went to Chicago, Illinois to work at their national pageant. And something that really tugged on my heart was that they said they're turning their disability into an ability. And that alone could be on a t-shirt because it's so impactful and powerful to have these women and girls knowing that they can change the world, they can do whatever they want despite their adversities, which I think anyone can relate to in some way. Everyone has adversities. So
I absolutely agree. I know we had talked about it too, that Miss Amazing started as a NAM project. It was a service project. So I think that that's such a cool thing to think that a teenager came up with this idea of inclusivity when it should be something that should be just part of our culture. And we talked about this, when I interviewed you previously, was, you know, everybody needs to be represented. And we always take our flaws as being something that is a negative when the truth of the matter is that our flaws are what make us perfection. That makes us unlike everybody else. If we all looked alike, if we all sounded alike, if we all acted alike, what kind of a world would it be? So it's so important for us to realize that, I say it all the time, can't we just all get along? And I know people laugh and they say that in the movies, but it's true. So, so
right. And
how,
my goal
go
would
ahead.
be that throughout time. Oh, sorry. I was saying my goal would be that throughout time we wouldn't have to have all these separate organizations to represent people because we could just all be one and it would be normal at that point where we can just all be, sorry my phone died. So we can just all be together
It
as one
died.
on
Oh
one single,
no.
yeah, I know, it's okay, on one single platform.
So is that one of the things that's really you've been striving for in this goal to become Miss USA? Or let's take it one step further, because the I was interviewing a girl that's competing, sorry, a woman that's competing for Miss Florida USA this weekend. When I said to her, "Well, you could become Miss Universe," and she went, and that moment when you realize, oh, wait a second, I get goosies, I got them again. You could be the
hmm
next Miss Universe. You could be
yeah,
the next
I
Miss Universe, Imani. Like, I mean, okay,
I
see?
know. I could be like, I know, and that's insane to even think about because you're kind of just taking one step at a time. I'm like, okay, I got the state title, and hopefully you get Miss USA, which is an honor itself just to be there, no matter if you walk away with the crown or not. But the fact that I possibly could be the next Miss Universe is something that is surreal.
Do you ever sit like, and you don't have to answer if you don't want to, but do you ever sit like in your shower going, yes, and I'm Miss Universe?
Oh my goodness, I have practiced my crying face so many times, as if like I was in this before my pageant. I was in the shower, and I would be like, "Your new Miss Washington USA is Imani Blackmon," and I would just cry in the shower and pretend
I
I
thought I
pretend
was the
I
only one that did stuff like that in the shower. I
yeah.
practiced my poses in the shower. Oh, I feel so much
Yeah,
better
I
now.
do it all. The shower is where I practice interview, I practice my poses, I practice my crying face. I mean, it kind of all goes down the drain when you actually win, because you're just really excited. But I have practice. I've said my name as if I was Miss Universe before. So
When at Miss Universe, I was shocked and loved the moment, but the Miss Universe staff invited me up on stage when they brought out the new crown and let me hold it. So for a minute, I tell everybody I was Miss Universe. I don't care if it was on my head or not, but I got, because I love Catriona, and she was holding it, and everybody was looking at it. But when all the delegates went away, they let me come on stage and hold it, and everybody
oh,
says, "Well, is it heavy? What did it feel like?" I'm like, I don't know. I blacked
right.
out. I have no idea, because in my head, it didn't matter. I was touching that crown. That was the only time that I've ever. I mean, I've come close to touching it. Not that one, but it was $5 million too. The new Miss USA crown is done by the same designer.
Yeah.
We don't know what it's going to look like. I can't wait. Oh my gosh, I can't wait.
That's so exciting.
You're
I know, I
gonna.
can't wait.
That's gonna be. I'm gonna have so much fun. I mean, I'm looking forward to USA this year, probably as much as you are, because this is a different relationship, I think, that we're starting to establish with all of the USA contestants. I've had it with Miss Universe delegates before, but isn't that weird? I started with Miss Universe and I'm working my way back.
I know.
Oops.
Little,
I was at Miss Universe before I was ever at Miss USA. That just seems so wrong.
it's okay.
But so let's assume you win Miss USA. You're at Miss Universe. How would you take your platform of inclusivity to the next stage as a global ambassador?
Yes, the Miss Amazing organization luckily already has a national pageant. So from there to be me as Miss USA using my voice and platform to expand the platform that is already existing, which is really helpful actually, because then I'm combining my team with another team, and hopefully getting girls to participate in the Miss Amazing organization. And not just that pageant itself, but teaching classes to girls about confidence and self-esteem, which I plan on doing next month in Washington, and start trying to set that up, because I think that's extremely important for especially young girls growing up in middle school and going to high school. And inclusivity is it covers so many aspects, even body image. I'm someone that is athletic. I used to run track. I grew up dancing, and so my body is very athletic. I will never be the thinnest in the room, and I think it's something that I have coped with over the years, and been able to look at myself and say, hey, I'm just as strong, I'm just as powerful. I can be Miss USA as well with my athletic body build. And I think Chesley has really showed that. But I would love to expand that mindset to women and girls across the nation as Miss USA.
That's so phenomenal. I I have no way of getting you to Miami, but if you are ever in Miami, I would love for you to be able to come to speak to the young ladies that I work with in the park that I work at, because it is a historically black neighborhood. A lot of the girls are at risk and are dealing with so many challenges, between incarcerated family members to, drug and gang violence, gun violence. And a couple of years ago, or 2 years ago, we brought Miss Universe Mauritius in, and one of the girls tugged me and she said, Miss Stacy, and I said, what's the matter? She goes, I don't know what to say. I didn't know a beauty queen could have my color skin.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Mm.
And I told Kyra last year when I judged it with Kyra last year, and she's like, I gotta get down there. Because Best Buddies headquarters are here in Miami, so I know that the ladies are here, and I'm just like, please, if you get an opportunity, I really would love to have you speak, because these girls really need to know that they can be whatever they want, and there isn't enough strong, powerful women, as Zosie says, taking up space,
Right.
and we need that. We need role models like you. We need women that are breaking the barriers and changing the face of beauty and pageantry. We need that. And you're so articulate. I walked away when I interviewed you the first time and I was like, holy
Oh,
moly,
thank
they have stepped up the game. Like, what
you.
is, so how,
Thank you.
but seriously, and I told you, I mean, I really was
Yeah.
impressed. And I love that. And I'm not afraid or ashamed to say it. You're you're what we need.
Thank you.
I mean
I
it.
appreciate that a lot.
I mean,
Thank you.
and I know that there's 49 amazing other women that are going to be at USA, and I've had the pleasure of meeting a few of them already, and I know that we'll have more. We've got 2 on tomorrow. One is your sister queen, so
Yes, Marissa.
so I'm
Yeah.
so excited. I can't wait. But it's cool to, so let's talk a little bit about going to Miss USA and what people think is happening in comparison to what you think is going to happen or what's happening, because I know you guys all have a chat together already. You guys are all talking to each other. You just came out of Miss Oregon USA, so let's talk about that experience at Miss Oregon USA and then how that's going to go forward to Miss USA.
Okay. At Miss Oregon USA, we were there for the pageant, of course. But while we were there, Maureen and David set up a Oregon boot camp for their title holders. So we had a couple of our sponsors come out. Yeah, we had Giselle. She did worked with us with walking, and our coach Carrie. She worked with us with interviewing. And then we had 2 photo shoots with Eric and Naoma, and they took beautiful pictures of us. So we had this whole entire weekend of pageant prep and being
Were
able to.
those shots? Sorry to interrupt, but were those
No,
the shots you put on Insta this week or yesterday or today?
yes, those are those pictures.
Oh, I can't wait. Okay,
Yeah,
continue. I'm sorry to interrupt. I just wanted to clarify.
yeah. Oh, Natalie's on. Hi.
Nat's
Um,
on. Hi,
okay.
Nat.
Yeah, so we had a whole entire pageant boot camp. We even went to the Trailblazers game on Saturday night, and that was a lot of fun, a lot of bonding for the sister queens. But the Oregon boot camp really helped us going forward into Miss USA. I think times before they hadn't really been able to get with their sponsors face to face before the Global Beauty Awards. And the Global Beauty Awards is in March. And
I
so
know.
to be here in January, getting together with our sponsors and working on interviewing and walking and preparing us for Miss USA is only going to make our team and our group that much stronger.
All right. I hate the fact that I'm waiting with bated breath for the nominations to be announced for Global Beauty Awards. I wait for it every year, and I know that for the most part, West Coast until recently really didn't know who I was. I was at Miss USA, and I bumped into somebody and she's like, you look familiar. And I said, do pageantry now. And we started talking. She's like, oh my gosh, you've got to be part of the Global Beauty Awards. I'm like, I don't know how to do it. I want to. I mean, if anybody next year, I'm sure next year we'll maybe get on the slate. But um, are you excited about that? Because your directors produce it. So let's talk a little bit about the Global Beauty Awards and soon the announcements, because I think they start announcing on Tuesday, I think.
Oh, sure. I went to the very first Global Beauty Awards and I took my dad as my date, and that was a lot of fun. It's an amazing thing that David and Maureen have put together, And I can only imagine how it's going to grow in the next 10 years from now. Who knows? It could be on TV by then.
So
But
cool.
just to watch it being only a few years old and it's already grown so much from the first year. I wasn't there last year, but from the pictures and videos I saw, they had red carpet. It looked so much more extravagant than it did the first time. So I know that this year will be even better and the years to come will just top it each time. But it's just such an amazing thing they've put together for the pageant community and the beauty industry in itself, because that is an industry that doesn't get enough recognition unless you are a beauty influencer on Instagram, maybe. But when it comes to the pageant world or motivational speakers or whatever the case may be, they don't get a lot of recognition like they deserve. So the Global Beauty Awards, it's perfect for that.
It really is great to be able to see some of the brightest and the biggest names in pageantry all come together in one place, working together instead of working, apart from each other. Um, and and I think we need to see more of that camaraderie of systems instead of it being, oh, I can't do that with them because they're that title. I'm like, no, we're sisters. We have to be together. We have to be working together and supporting each other, because the only way the industry is going to grow and get stronger, and it seems over the years it's ebbed and flowed. It gets bigger, it gets smaller, it goes through changes, and I think that pageantry is really going through a pretty significant change right now. So let's talk about those changes. One of which we saw even at Miss Universe this with swimsuit, just the adding of the capes instead of it being just a little sarong or just coming out um, uh, in your swimsuit. Sorry, my brain shut down.
Okay.
How do you feel about that? How do you feel about the changes that are happening?
I love the cape. I love the idea of the opening and closing statement. I think that is something that allows the girls to be able to talk more on stage, especially from an outsider. That's why people have these stigmas of pageant girls, because all they watch is that moment on TV when they say their name, they do swimsuit, they do evening gown, and then they answer one top five question, and then maybe they become a YouTube moment and then people make fun of it. So that's all people are able to see. But when you are able to have more talking points, then the audience is like, wow, these women are intelligent, they're smart, they are goal driven, they have ambitions in life. And so I think those beginning and closing statements really help to define who should be the next title holder. And then it allows outsiders to say, hey, pageants are an amazing thing for a young woman growing up.
And I think that they're great opportunities for women just to be empowered in general. Like I know they've changed my life. I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing. Clearly I wouldn't be doing this, but um, I think that it really made my life a better experience. And I've told you, and I've said it. I'm starting to say it more. I am on the spectrum, so for me, I had to learn how to be able to be communicative with people in a positive way. It was really hard for me to make eye contact. It was really hard for me to be able to speak in even remotely coherent sentences. And pageants helped me do that. And I can't imagine my life without that opportunity, because it really empowered me to be, all the things I've been able to do, and get my master's in therapy and be able to help other people. And then to also be able to have this show and give opportunities to women like you, which I'm so grateful for. I can't even begin to. Oh, I'm going to cry. Our four
Oh,
year anniversary
I
for
know.
doing this
Me
show
too. I'm
is
like,
on Tuesday. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I just cannot believe we've come so far. So thank you for being part of that history. Thank you for being part of that opportunity. One of the girls that asks, sorry, she's a woman. I gotta stop saying girls. I've got to get out of my vernacular. One of the wonderful women that comes on and asks questions. She isn't on tonight, so I'll ask you one of her questions that she asks. Uh,
okay.
what is your favorite book, and how has it changed your view on life, if any way?
Hmm. Um, I think growing up, I read the book. I believe it's called Night, about the Holocaust,
Oh
and
wow.
that book for me was like a pivoting moment. I used to go back to my mom every day after class and talk about that book in particular. It just defined what hardships are and being able to overcome even the most disgusting hardships like the Holocaust. So it just it on the daily reminded me that anything I'm going through, I can overcome. And despite any adversity you go through, you can overcome and come out hopefully even stronger and better. So definitely that book. It's a tough
Wow.
book to
No,
read, but
no. Yeah, no. I'm a couple of my friends are their parents are Holocaust survivors. And I had a really hard time with just Anne Frank, so I can't imagine. I hear their stories, I hear their family stories, and what their lives have become, and I think, wow, my friend wouldn't exist if their parent had not gone through these moments, which are unbelievable. And so leads me to another question, but I think it ties in nice. If you could be president tomorrow, what would you do to change our country?
oh, that's a good question. I think something my mom has always taught me is, I mean, you can't instill this into everyone, but I think the biggest thing that our country is lacking is simple compassion. Compassion covers it all. It covers love and empathy and unity, and it covers everything that makes a human spectacular and it makes a good human is with compassion. So I would want to be able to instill compassion into everyone, and that's just how you carry yourself. As if I was the president, I would carry myself in a way that was compassionate, that allowed people to know that I was there for them and I wanted the best for them. And that alone will make people feel more compassionate towards others. It's all about how the president acts. I think we feed off of that a lot. So if if the president had more compassion, then I think our society would have more compassion. And that's basically, I think, the biggest problem with our society now is the lack of empathy, sympathy, and compassion.
If you are speaking to a young African American young lady, the 7-year-old you, what would you say to her?
Ah, um, I would tell her that despite how people may view you, you are more than enough, worth everything and more. Actually, in my status, I just wrote something about how when I was younger, someone told me that I would be prettier if I was lighter.
I saw
And
that. I was going to ask you about it too, so thanks for bringing it in.
yeah, and I was actually we were in my room and there we were dancing around to like I think Rihanna, and she was like, "Oh, she's light," and then she goes, "You would be so much prettier if you were lighter like her." And at the time, I'm like, "What? Why would you say that?" I didn't know about colorism, or I didn't think that like why would you think I would be prettier if I was lighter until as you get older and see how the world actually is, and now that statement kind of makes sense. But I would just tell my younger self that you can't listen to statements like that because people are always going to think negative thoughts. But if you dig deep and just find who you are and are happy with yourself, and that's all that really matters, I would tell my younger self that you can achieve anything you want. You can be Miss Washington USA, even though you haven't seen many girls that look like you be Miss Washington, you still can do that. So just telling any young black girl or younger 7-year-old Imani to always believe in yourself and believe in your timing as well.
There was real awareness for me. I was 18 when Vanessa Williams won Miss America, and still new to pageants, so I was looking at going into the America system, and I didn't understand there was racism within the races. It was shocking to me to hear on the news, to see the statements that were made about her, because people said she wasn't really black. And then there were other people that were saying, well, she's black, she can't be Miss America. And and I thought, like, how, and that was in 84. So it kind of again, that was part of the reason at Miss Universe I was crying, because I thought it was amazing that we had Miss USA, Miss America, Miss Teen USA all being African American. And then that moment was like, it doesn't matter what color you are, it's the best person that wins.
Hmm.
I'm gonna cry
Right. And that,
again because, like, I just can't.
yeah,
It makes me emotional. How does it feel for you?
no, yeah, it's definitely something that I have been emotional about when I just see it on TV and I see all their interviews. It just reminds me that we've come a long way, but of course we have a lot of ways to go. I've seen a lot of negative comments too under their pages of people saying racial slurs, and people have called the Miss USA pageant now the Miss Black USA
I
pageant
know.
because I guess so many Black women have won, which is not true at all. But because it's been a few Black women in the span of five
We've had
years now, it becomes
10 in
a
the last,
problem.
how many years of the pageant? 10 total.
Like 63 editions of Miss USA, there's only been 10 or 11. So the fact that people are getting frustrated because we're just now getting our moment is can be frustrating as well. So I try not to look at those comments because those ones do suck a lot, especially as a Black woman that's going into Miss USA. It makes me feel sometimes like, okay, well, do I have to work extra hard now to prove that I can be worthy to crown as another Black girl again? Because those comments, if I won Miss USA,
Right.
those comments will happen and people will get frustrated thinking that I just had won because they're trying to fit this mold of being inclusive. And I'm already prepared for that if that was the case, but it just sucks that that's still the reality. So although we see these beautiful, gorgeous, smart, intelligent Black women holding these iconic titles, we still have work to do because people think that it should stop here now. That now, okay, we can go back to how it usually is. We can get
No, no, it does not need to go. We need more Latinas. We need more Asians. We need it to be world beauty. It doesn't it's not about this. It's about who you are inside. I think Pia Warsbach, Miss Universe 2015, says it best. Confidently beautiful with a heart. If you're beauty inside and you're taking what you do, and when you're talking about being president and being compassionate, I thought, what a great statement to make, especially as Miss USA or as Miss Universe. It really is about being compassionate. It's really about, being an ambassador for your country and being able to represent, hopefully, the best that we offer. And an intelligent, articulate, strong, empowered women, that so that it doesn't take 108 years for us to be equals, because
right.
that is a frightening statistic, to think that as much as we are fighting to be women right now, it's going to take 108 years before we can be equals in the world with men. That's just
Yeah, exactly.
that came out when my interview with Zosie, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, are you serious?" And we're making so many strides, and we're becoming better, stronger women. So, how what do you think you're going to bring to the table to become an ambassador of the United States as Miss USA?
One thing that I think that I have to offer that's different than others is I work for the Walt Disney Resort and the Walt Disney Company as a performer. And performing, our whole entire motto is to create happiness. When you go through traditions and you go through your training, they say you have to create happiness, you have to create happiness. And every single day there's people, thousands of people from around the world that are coming to Disneyland, and we have to be able to connect and relate to all these people from all across the globe through all different kinds of demographics and walks of life. And that's something that I think that I can offer to the Miss Universe organization because I know firsthand how to relate to people that don't look the same as you or don't have the same views as you, because I do it every day at my job at Disneyland. So I
You work
think,
with Alyssa too, because she
yeah, yeah,
and
Miss
you're also
Candace.
friends with with Princess Tiana, and she's friends with Ray and Princess or Queen Elsa. I don't know. Is she Princess Elsa anymore? The new movies throw me off. Who's queen now?
They're actually both queens. Anna and Elsa are queens now in the new movie.
I went
Spoiler
to
alert.
no, I went to
Frozen.
see the movie because one of my pageant sisters it was diagnosed with cancer, and so she's 10, and we got together for the holidays because I wanted to try to help her feel a little bit normal. And then she proceeded to totally, spoiler alert, tell me everything that happened in the movie. I'm like, I haven't seen it yet. She goes, well, now you know what happens. And I'm like, ah, come on.
It's really good. I saw Frozen 2 twice in the theater, so it
I
is
liked
really
it.
good.
I liked it. I did like it. And I liked it better than. Remind me to text you when we get finished because there's something I want you to see. But I liked it better than the first one. The first one, and I didn't
Thank you.
dislike the first one. There's only so many times I can hear those songs before I'm like, stop. Because I deal with little kids, so the kids are always singing them. For instance, during winter break, we did a camp, and 2 3-year-olds stood behind a sign at the playground. So there was a sign that was like their height, and one of them is singing, "Do you want to build a snowman?" And the other one's just sitting there giving her dirty looks against, with her back against the sign. And her only job is to go away, Elsa, or go away, Anna.
Right. So
And
cute.
I was like, oh my gosh. Like, I mean, I've watched it like a million times now because it's so cute. So then the next day, the other little girl that was playing Anna didn't come. So the girl that was singing "You Want to Build a Snowman" sang both parts. She kept going back and forth on the side.
She was committed to her roles.
Like, clearly she needs to get a job in this industry somewhere. So all right, so let's do I asked you the frog question already, so we won't ask that one again. But this or that. Ready?
Okay.
So
Yes.
it's fun. Do you prefer, oh, it's silly, but do you prefer chocolate or vanilla?
Chocolate.
Why?
Oh, chocolate milk. I think I talked about this before. Chocolate milk is my favorite drink in the world.
Yeah, you did tell me that. Oh my
Yeah,
gosh, we
so
did do
definitely
this.
chocolate.
I
Yeah,
realized I asked you some already. I've got to ask you some different ones.
right.
So, do you prefer carbs or vegetables?
Oh, carbs. I tried the keto thing, and I still try to go when I'm training for something off and on with keto and low carb. But that is so hard because everything good in life has carbs. It's just
Thanks,
you don't
Meredith.
realize how much, like, everything has carbs. Even a granola bar has 30 grams of carbs. So
I know.
I know. So you're eating carbs the whole day. So I would carbs over vegetables all day.
I was diagnosed as pre-diabetic a couple of years ago, and the nurse at my doctor's office said no carbs at all. And so I tried that for like, it was the worst 48 hours of my life. Like, there was just, and then my doctor said, no, you can have 45 carbs a meal. I'm like, holy bananas. Like, I don't even eat that in a day normally now, so I can't even imagine 45 carbs per meal. Like, anyways, that's, yeah.
Yeah.
But I get you. Like, there are days when I just have got to have pasta, and there's just no way to get away from it. With that, Meredith Ellis, who's competing for Miss Kentucky USA, you leave tomorrow, right, Meredith? You go check in. She might even be checked in already. So she might be one of your sisters. We'll see.
Oh, awesome. Well, good luck.
I know. She says waffles or pancakes.
Oh, it depends on where I'm at, but I probably waffles. A
Yeah.
Waffle House is really good. Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles is really good. If you've ever been there before, it is iconic.
But like, you have to go to the Roscoe's that is down the street from Disneyland. You have to
Yes,
go to that one. That was the
yes.
very first time I had chicken and waffles. It was awesome
And
because it
it's
sounded
delicious.
gross to me.
No, well, I actually don't eat it on top. Like I don't eat the chicken.
No, I eat them separate. I
Yeah,
can't do that. I can't do it.
separate. So
No, I can't.
the picture always eat the chicken on top and you pour the syrup. I cannot mix those sweet and savory tastes together. So I definitely just eat the waffles and the chicken separately. But I'll say waffles. But if I'm at IHOP, then pancakes. I really like their pancakes.
Oh, it's 15 days. She doesn't compete until the 31st and the 1st of February. Oh,
Okay.
so you've got a couple more days. So
Yeah.
the only reason I didn't, we'll talk, Meredith, but that's cool. Okay, so do you like McDonald's or Taco Bell?
Taco Bell. Definitely. I
Why?
love the Baja Blast.
Ooh,
Um,
what
the
is
drink
that?
is Mountain Dew. It's a Baja Blast drink. That
Ooh,
I crave that sometimes, honestly. Like I'll be driving and I'm like, ah, I wish I had a Baja Blast.
I don't like Mountain Dew. I don't get it.
It's
Really?
pretty sugary, but it's really good.
It's too sweet
Try the
for me.
Baja Blast from Taco Bell.
It's okay because if you ask Mike about Coke from a can or Coke from McDonald's,
What did he
he
say?
he says Coke from actually from a can. He thinks the Coke from McDonald's is gross. What about you?
The Coke and Sprite from McDonald's is like crispy. That's the best word I can describe. Like you take that first sip and it's like, ah, that's
Mer-
McDonald's.
Meredith
Coke
says
can is
that
really
Baja Blast is clutch. Okay, what is clutch?
clutch means like, oh my gosh. Clutch
I just got fleek in my vernacular. What is clutch?
clutch is like it's good. Basically, all I can describe is that means that if you hear someone say clutch, that means it's good. Like, oh, that came in clutch. I don't even know how to. It's
Where did
funny.
that come from?
I don't know. Just slang over the years. It's weird trying to describe slang because I just
No,
used it.
I know, but I was like, okay, wait. And every time I say fleek, Mike cringes. He goes, "Why are you using that? It's not a word." And I'm like, "It is a word. Apparently, it's an outdated word, but I'm like, my eyebrows are on fleek." He goes, "You're not on fleek, Miss Stacy. They're not on fleek." Oh goodness. All right. Do you prefer like no name stuff or designer stuff?
No name. I'm the biggest bargain shopper. Like I go to these stores down the street from my place, and people are like, "Where'd you get your outfit?" And it's just random stores. I don't even really own anything designer. I'm a bargain shopper because I know it depends on how you are and how you present yourself. Because what the things that I wear, the wardrobe that I have, I'll look just as good as someone that is wearing designer from head to toe. So as long as you look good and you feel good, I think that's all that matters. But
I
and I like to save money, so
I agree. No, one of my favorite dresses I wore it to Miss USA, and Paula turned around and she looked at me. Paula Shugart, the president of Miss Universe, goes, "Oh my gosh, Stacy, where did you get that dress? Who's that designer?" And I was like, "Ross,
right,
$22 yesterday."
right. I love we love
I was dying because I was like, I can't afford designer anything.
yeah, designer stuff is just really expensive and Ross and Burlington, TJ Maxx, and all those great stores have great options too.
You have no many how the the times that I judge Nam that I don't pack enough, and I because that little shopping mall right down the street has Ross, TJ Maxx, and Burlington all in the same shopping, and Target is like right next door. I
Right.
I was there people are like, "Why do you go on vacation to shop?" I'm like, "I don't do it intentionally, but hey, if you can get a bargain, why not?"
Yeah, sometimes it happens. You just bring stuff home with you.
Last year I brought a whole suitcase home with me.
Oh wow. There you go. A whole
I,
new wardrobe.
it was it because I ended up staying. I was only supposed to judge for a few days, so I stayed for 10. So we just
Oh
bought,
wow.
yeah. And for guys, it doesn't matter. They can wear the same. They buy a couple of shirts and they just change their jackets, and it's so not fair.
I know. We have to put a lot of effort in because when we take a picture, you can tell you wore that before, so you gotta
Okay,
switch it
are
up.
you in that mindset too? That because I was when I started winning titles, I was in Texas and I was taught you don't wear the same outfit twice. Do you do that too?
Yeah, well, I repeat my clothes, but I would never repeat it on Instagram. Like if I wear something if I wear something to an appearance, I probably won't wear it to an appearance again. That would just be I'll wear it again sometime like if I was going to brunch or a dinner, but as far as taking a picture for Instagram or for an appearance, I'll only wear that outfit once. One time it's funny, I've actually I've worn an outfit twice before, years apart, and then I went back and deleted the old picture. That way you couldn't go back and see that I wore it again. But that's why I have to be a bargain shopper, because every time I have an appearance or something, I find myself going to the store to buy something new because I don't want to repeat something. So because I do that every single time, I have to be a bargain shopper, or else I'll go broke if I was trying to buy designer clothes.
I don't know if you and I haven't really let anybody see this, but I'll let you guys see it because usually I don't. But I do my broadcasts in my closet because because we don't because in Miami space is really hard to come by, just like in California, the West Coast totally. So like, can you guys see?
Oh yeah. I couldn't even tell you were in your closet. I just thought this was all a backdrop.
Yeah, well, it is a backdrop. I mean, we've got, but yeah, no, that's my closet. But and I told Mike, I said, what if people see my clothes? He goes, aren't they going to see them on you anyway?
Right.
So,
I know, but it's a real problem, I feel like, especially girls have, because also we have so many options when it comes to clothes. So guys can get annoyed or upset, but they're probably just jealous they don't have as many options as we do.
I don't think they care as much. I
They
really
do.
don't. I mean, honestly, Mike doesn't. Like, every time I go to NAM, I pack everything and I'm obsessed for like 10 days before, making sure everything's packed. And he's like, what difference does it make? I'll just wear a shirt and a different tie. And I'm like,
You're like, no, no.
does not. I'm like, or my favorite, the first time we judged NAM, he was sitting between a Miss USA and a Miss America.
Oh
And
yeah.
on his phone, totally oblivious. And I text because this is my first time of having that magnitude. It was the first time I had been in a room with a Miss USA or a Miss America like that. And I text him and I'm like, dude, you're sitting between Miss America and Miss USA. And he goes, where?
Oh my goodness.
Or like our first Miss Universe event that we went to, we were sitting with next to Gabrielle Eisler, Miss Universe 2014, 13. Sorry, Gabby. Sitting next to her, and I'm like, Mike, get off of your phone. Like Miss Universe is right there. He goes, eh. I mean, we were at a table with a bunch of delegates, so it was really cool. But I think it was that moment when my anxiety level dropped because I realized, wait, they're just like me doing social media, taking pictures, just, and he's just like, whatever.
Right. Just like everyone else.
Just like everybody else. But I mean, and they are, and I mean, I'm sure you get it now. Like, how did it feel the first time that a little girl walked up to you and said, "Can I have your autograph?"
Um, Actually, it's kind of funny because I work at Disney. I get to do that, but not as myself. So being able to sign an autograph as Imani Blackmon is definitely something that makes my heart like, that's so cool. Someone wants my autograph. But that first time, I think that happened when I was a teen. And I was just like, what, me? You want my autograph? What? So that'll never get old. Having a little girl asking to put on my crown or to get a picture or an autograph.
And Shayla won this weekend too. She's a NAM
Yeah,
girl too. We picked her for when she was NAM. So it was like you could have heard me screaming from the other side of the room because I was like,
action was so genuine. Me and Marissa were sitting next to each other, and we both look at each other, and we're both crying because Shayla's reaction was just so genuine. She worked so hard for that title. Her family's so supportive. Her dad's Instagram handle is the pageant dad.
I
So
know, love it.
because I thought my dad was a huge pageant dad, but her dad is definitely takes it because his Instagram is 100% a pageant dad. But their all of the reactions was so cool to be there and to watch it live. And she's so beautiful, so smart. She wants to do a lot with her title, and she's gonna make the most of this year, 100%.
How does it feel? Like, I know you said you guys went through some training over the weekend, but now welcoming another sister into the fold for you, knowing that these ladies are vying for the same title of Miss Universe. How does that add to the experience or detract from the experience of trying to vie for Miss USA?
hmm I think it actually, people have asked me this too because of one of my best friends, Sam, is Miss Hawaii. And people are like, well, you have to compete with her too. But we both have said that we don't even think about that because we're friends first. And with the other Pageant Northwest girls too, we're all friends first. And then we're also each other's competition. But that's not what we think about because I think what unifies us is the fact that we're all vying for the same position. And we're in a industry that only select a group of girls understand what it's like to be in this position. So instead of looking at each other as or tearing each other down or looking at each other as competition, it's looking at each other as a support system. That way we can be able to use each other to support us through this whole journey because it's something that's so exclusive in a way and something that's so memorable that I think I'd rather go use those memories of or asking for help than looking at them as competition because we're friends first.
I think, uh, and I could be wrong. I mean, I personally feel that social media has allowed for the sisterhood to be a bigger sisterhood. Like I know that the first Miss USA reunion was like the coolest thing ever. I wasn't there. I want to be there. If anybody wants to invite me to the first, because they the formers all get together and do a party where they all cheer on whoever is going to be crowned, and then
Right.
they get together at Miss Universe. It's either at Miss USA or Miss Universe. Um, but I think social media has helped build those bonds in a stronger way. Do you think it has?
Yeah, because through social media, we've all the title holders so far have followed each other. We have a group me chat. We have a Facebook account now. Every time someone posts a picture, we're always in the comments like, "Yes, queen, yes, girl," hyping each other up. We're always interacting via Instagram stories. So I think it really has helped because when we get to Miss USA, we kind of already feel like we know each other and
Right.
we've already built this bond of this friendship and sisterhood. Where now, when we get to Miss USA, it's just going to be more fun than it's going to be just a lot more fun for all the contestants instead of thinking, oh my gosh, we're at a competition and we're all competing against each other. I I'm looking forward to just going there and having, of course, taking it very seriously and but having a great time because you only get this one opportunity to do this. And so I want to be able to look back and be like, oh my gosh, I had the time of my life. It was the best week ever. And I met so many amazing girls that are now my sisters.
The year you competed at Teen USA was the year who won.
Cassidy Wolf, California.
Okay. Oh, we talked about this. And
Yeah.
she was just, didn't she just host Nevada?
No, that was someone else, a former Miss California teen. I forget her name, but she hosted it with the former Miss
Miss
Nevada.
Nevada, right. I knew that she
Right.
was the former Miss Nevada. For some reason, I was thinking she was a Teen USA. And I was like trying to look, going, because
Yeah, she's from
Cassidy's from California, right?
Cassidy.
Yeah, she's
Yeah,
from California.
Cassidy's from California.
Okay. I thought so. I was like, and I'm trying to keep on touch of it. And now I've got people that are sending me the winners as they win. Like different people are now tagging me and stuff and letting me know. And I'm like, okay, great, thanks. I'll get in touch with them or hopefully just let everybody know they can let me
Yeah.
contact me if they want to be on the show because I do want the stories to be heard. So,
Mhm.
okay, so what would you like people to know about you that I haven't spoken about? We've been on for over an hour, so I apologize.
Oh, it's okay.
So,
Just
but
having a grand
what would
old
you
time.
like them to know about you?
Oh, I would like people to know that I am a genuine person. This is something that has been a dream of mine since, like I said, I was a little girl when I started at 5 years old and came into realization that I wanted this to be my dream at 7. So it's been on my mind for quite some time. And
Couple of days.
yeah, a couple of days. So everything I say and everything I'm about is 100% genuine. I want representation and inclusivity is my whole entire platform. So I want that for all of society and the whole entire world. I believe that I would be a great Miss USA because I know that I have a lot to offer and I'm 100% ready to be Miss USA. When you have a goal and that's been in your head for 20 years now,
It's
I
crazy.
can positively say that I'm 100% ready for this job. So vote for me.
Go for it. Well, no,
Uh,
honestly, and when we get information on how to vote, that seriously, that's part of the reason behind this too, is because it's really hard for them to vote for somebody if they don't know about you or know about your story or know about who is the person behind that photo, because you can take the best photo, and like you said, the changes to Miss Universe and Miss USA, I love them. I remember talking to Paula about the changes just in the year when Deshauna was crowned, and was this the way we were going to be going for Miss USA? Because I think that people need to know you,
mhm.
and it's a real relationship, and I think that Facebook Live has enabled the title holders as Miss USA and Miss Universe to be out in front and be seen and heard, and today I saw there was a new video of Zoe, and people were slamming it because she wasn't doing real stuff, and I'm like, I feel better knowing that story. I want to get to know them as people. I don't want to see what's perfect. I want to know that, she's eating a hot dog for the first time, and what that experience is like.
Right,
How,
because these women are people, so they're experiencing life just as we're experiencing life every single day. And people have to remember that every single day as a title holder isn't going to be dedicated to your platform per se. Everything's not going to be dedicated to the gym preparing for Miss USA. You're going to have those days where you binge watch Netflix. You're going to have those days where you have a McDonald's cheeseburger, and you can document that stuff as well if you want to. I don't think, actually, I got a comment under one of my pictures on Facebook that said, you should, we want to see more of your advocacy and more of your improvement for walking and whatnot, which is a great statement. I think that's true. I would love to, I can't wait to broadcast my Miss USA prep and what my platform is a lot more, but there's a lot more to be said behind the scenes as well. You don't know what people are working on. You can't control people's social media. If I have a lot of pretty pageant pictures I want to post, then I'm allowed to post that as well. If I want to post about my advocacy, then I can post about that as well. So I don't think people should look at social media and determine who you are as a person or a title holder. So good for her for posting. If I don't know what she posted, but if she posted herself eating a hot
yeah, it was Mimi it was either Mimi or Meg asking her questions as she's walking through the subway going to Central Park, but it was, and but it was her experiences going, hey, how are you, what's going on, like,
yeah.
real, because life isn't perfect, and being Miss Universe, Miss USA, or Miss Washington USA isn't about being perfect. It's about being, perfectly you, and
Mhm.
whatever that is. So, and all of the amazing things that you are, which you really are an amazing woman. Don't ever let anybody tell you you aren't. Seriously.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
I was so looking forward to this. I was like, come on, just be, I was waiting for you to answer me back, and I know you're trying to juggle, you know, traveling and going back
Yeah.
and forth and the job, and that's
hmm
not an easy thing to do. So,
Yeah. I had a casting today and I was like rushing back in traffic. So I'm like, I have to set my computer up and everything.
oh no, you should
So,
have said something to me.
no, it's okay because I wanted to make it work and
Okay.
it worked out perfectly. Yeah, we're
Well,
here.
I was
Oh,
really hoping you weren't going to say tomorrow, because tomorrow I've got Marissa on, and then I have Miss Nebraska on tomorrow too.
oh,
So,
awesome. Okay.
yeah, this is cool.
Yay.
It'll be cool.
Please.
Yeah. I'm happy. I mean, it's nice. It's nice to be able to have it. And again, I want them to remember, vote for Miss Washington USA. So, and if you want, come back. If you, what I would like to do and what I'm hoping to be able to do is that once I have the Miss on and the teen on, then to bring you both together and do a show together with both of you, which is kind of fun.
Yeah, that'll be a lot of fun.
Kind of.
Maybe during, we'll all be together for the Global Beauty Awards in March. So maybe during that week we can do a Skype or something with
Oh,
the.
that would be so cool, because you're all going to be together then, right?
Yeah, well, all 8 of us will be there. Yes, we can
Ooh.
do a group.
That would be so cool. I would love that. Because also too, like, the one good thing about going to USA this year, like last year, they're together now, as opposed to when you competed, when they were, because you were the last one in the Bahamas, right?
I think second to last, but yeah, one of the few that did Bahamas. So they were completely separate, which that was fun too because we kind of had our own You don't get overshadowed by anyone else because it's only your pageant. But what I love about them being combined is that now you have the misses can come support the
Right.
teens and vice versa. And it's a lot cheaper for families just to be able to go to one show at one time. So I really do like the fact that they combine them now. I think it just makes it easier on both parties.
I think it just builds the sisterhood so much more. I like it because I think that, and then the the Teen USA is there and gets to be there for the crowning moment and vice versa. Whereas when it was in the Bahamas, not all of the Miss contestants could make it to support their teens.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's cool. I mean, I hope you guys do too. I'm looking forward to it. I
Yeah.
think it's a bigger party, so I really enjoyed it. So I hope you do too. So, all right, my love, thank you so much for being on. I'm so grateful. I really appreciate it. And I look forward to watching your journey. How can people find you if they want to?
Yes, you can find me on Instagram at Imani_Blackmon and at Miss Wa USA and Twitter as well. And then on Facebook, just Imani Blackmon or Miss Washington USA. So come say hi.
Cool. I got Miss Y USA, so I put that up. I know Imani too, so hopefully everybody can come and check you out, follow your journey, and I look forward to seeing you on the stage. I can't wait. I cannot
Thank
wait.
you.
All right.
Yay, thank you.
Yay. Thanks, my love. I will see you later. Thanks for being here. Bye.